What's up? My name is TiMariah, and today I'm going to be talking about Afro-surrealism in the show Atlanta. Husbands murdering, then transforming their working partners into subservient robot housewives. Boyfriend meets girlfriend's white upper-class parents, only to find he's being sold in an auction for his own body. Or a world where Justin Bieber's black and invisible cars exist. What do these three pictures all have in common? I believe it's something sewn into the narrative, the one which seeks to question the darkness that lingers beneath and answer only to the truth, using horror tropes, comedy, and surrealism to expose
interlocking systems of domination
that plague society as we know it. Similarly, HBO's Atlanta is a show aimed for general audiences to follow the story of three black men navigating their lives in America. At its worst, the show is conversational, comedic, and casual. But at its best, the show entwines elements of the surreal and factual to create art in which explores the nature of society and the utter bizarreness of being black in America. Following my own experiences of racism, even as a child, I often imagine a world where people don't treat others with such contempt over matters of race, gender, or religion, where freedom and justice apply to all people. But then I return to now and realize that's just not reality. In effect, Atlanta uses surrealism to move beyond the constraints of whiteness and collectively envisage a world of freedom, not bound by violence, injustice, and inequality. Atlanta transcends the established racist binaries and embraces the absurdity of it all. I guess you could call it Afro-surrealist. In an episode titled 3 Slaps, two men sit together, sharing stories on a dimly lit boat, gently rocking on the Lake Lanier, swallowed by darkness. One tells the other about how the lake they sit above is haunted, as many black souls were lost in the creation of the dam. He narrates the demise in an ominous tone, staring deep into the water. Then abruptly, the camera cuts back to the man who is listening, as he is slowly pulled into the water by the ghosts of Lake Lanier. Sounds scary. Like a myth, fiction, a lie. Well, in 1957, the US Army Corps of Engineers built a man-made lake. A lake named after the Army veteran, Sidney Lanier. The town was predominantly black, and the government displaced over 300 families. It was said that because of the wealth the town had acquired through trade and agriculture, the state saw its influence and sought to stop it. But what was the state government so afraid of? Atlanta argues the town had obtained so much wealth, power, and social dominance, in theory it'd become white, kind of. A 2017 study examined the DNA of almost 6,000 people, and none of the genetic differences correlated to any traditional ideas of race. That race, in effect, was simply a social construct. For instance, originally in America, the Irish weren't even classified as white, but today they are. This is evidence of the definition of race morphing into whatever and whenever the power structure sees fit. The lake reflects the racial divide between people of colour and those who hold the privileged title of whiteness, where in the past, others have attempted to cross those fringes but were segregated, suppressed, or silenced. Respectively, Atlanta doesn't refuse to address the urban legend, but confront it and see it for what it truly is. Terrifying. Despite this, the episode reveals the drowning fisherman to be the dream of a young boy who's put through foster care and sent to a young lesbian couple who are fostering 3 other children. In this story, the children are used and abused. The boy attempts to report his foster parents to social services, but nothing prevails. Then the boy tries to appeal to a police sergeant, clinging onto his shoulder, begging for help, but the police officer mistakes it for a hug and returns him to his 2 mothers. The ill treatment and neglect continues until one day the mothers decide to drive to the Grand Canyon and commit a murder-suicide with all the children aboard the car. This is true. In 2018, a white lesbian couple killed themselves and their 6 adopted black children by driving off a Californian cliff. The boy in the series is based off the real Devontae Hart, who was 12 when he was pictured tearfully hugging the police during a protest. Firstly, Sarah Hart, one of the mothers, allegedly pleaded guilty to domestic abuse for hitting one of the children. Secondly, the children were caught begging for food from one of the neighbours only days before. The Afro-surrealist twist within the episode is the most unsuspecting, because the children managed to devise a plan and escape from the car mid-journey. And in this case, the boy reunites with his mother, and the other children are rescued. Atlanta raises awareness on how white institutions with the pretenses of helping can tear apart families and households of colour. Obviously, the retelling wasn't reality. In my opinion, Atlanta uses true stories to create these alternative, less traumatic endings. We don't erase or forget the truth, but allow ourselves to heal and hope for a better world where we and our children are safe, even if only for a moment. But why does it all matter? I mean, documentaries already exist about these tragedies, and at the end of the day, it's not like the show is going to incite a riot or any political uproar. I mean, Atlanta, like most forms of entertainment, seek to heighten the comedy by engaging in absurdism to generate a larger cult following. Am I right? Or am I right? I believe that art is meaningful, and art does not exist within a vacuum, so films cannot be ignorant of society. Art reflects the world's hopes, dreams, and horrors. James Baldwin once said,
"A society must assume that it's stable, but the artist must know, and he must let us know, that there is nothing stable under heaven."
Art reveals. A famous instance of film changing history was the release of Birth of a Nation in 1915, directed by D.W. Griffith. It is known that this film single-handedly managed to reinstate the Ku Klux Klan through its racist and violent portrayals of Black Americans. Yes, this is a negative instance of art impacting the world, although the point remains, art is powerful. Personally, through watching Atlanta, my perceptions on gun control to the music industry have changed, alongside what it means to be a person of colour. So if a British teenage girl can view this American show and have her life changed, perhaps it's more than just heightened comedy. Surely then it's something magical, even if minuscule. It can ignite fires from within, everywhere.
Stop, y'all!
In conclusion, people's experiential realities differ in troubles and traumas. However, shows and films, such as Atlanta, can explore that grief and sorrow in order to discover the truth and heal for once. That art is for everyone and no one all at once. We can find ourselves, lose ourselves, and educate others with it. But the choice is yours. Are you willing to listen? Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new. Hi everyone, I just finished making notes for the video, I guess. Hopefully this works out very well. If it doesn't, I'll be I think I'll be very shocked. The reason why I thought of doing this video is mainly because I already know like lots of conversation about Atlanta already exists, and I was just scrolling through my YouTube feed and most of it was about Atlanta. I didn't think I could offer anything new to the argument. This was originally a speech that I made about 2 weeks ago to perform in front of my English class, I guess. But it's a show that I really like, and I just wanted to tell more people about it, especially in the UK, about the show. And I know that Thomas Flight made a video basically talking about what I was talking about. I went deeper into like Afro-surrealism. And there's loads of commentary and explanations about the 3 Slaps episodes, which I used also to help in my speech, alongside loads of blogs and articles. And I used all of that. I'll put the links in the description as well if you want to read up more about them, because I think that they were amazing. I hope you like my video. Please subscribe and like and comment down below. Bye.